everyone, I'm Kana IKESHITA. Thank you so much for having me here today. When people ask me about my career, I always tell them, I'm a mother of 4 children. I say that because I take pride in being a mom for the past 18 years, but people who know me well often say, you were not an ordinary mom, but an out-of-the-box mom. But to be honest, I don't understand why people would say that to me. But now that I have this opportunity, I have thought carefully for the first time about what is ordinary and what is not. As a child, I have doubts about being on the same level as everyone else, and I found it painful to be evaluated only from my score at school. And having said that, I have 4 children who have quite a unique school life. My 17-year-old son is a traveling high school student. He goes to a high school that travels not only in Japan, but all over the world. My 15-year-old daughter, who barely attended middle school, has studied on her own, and she has decided to attend a public high school in Vancouver. My 13-year-old son is studying hard and enjoying club activities and games, just like most Japanese junior high school students. My 11-year-old son left home to study in the Japanese countryside for 2 years when he was only 9. On holidays and weekends, he worked on a farm. My children's choices were not forced upon them by my husband or myself. It was their own decision. For me, the top priority is to not get in the way of my children's thoughts and decisions. My children grew up in the same environment, yet they had different interests, different strengths, and even wanted to live in different places. I listened to them, and together we looked for options regarding their interests. I noticed that the values were different from those I grew up with. The private school that my children attended was considered to be a progressive school in Japan. They do not rank their students. The test results are kept very private. And the children were not living in a system where they competed in rankings. My first thought was the world is changing. That would be more attractive to people who live true to themselves and has the ability of self-awareness that cannot be compared or measured. Now, don't you think it will be exciting if there was a whole new field where people could compete and shine for who they are? I always tell my children to value their own personal priority. If they pursue what they believe is right, I don't even need them to follow school rules. Even skipping school classes are fine with me. However, it is important that skipping must not be taken lightly. It must not be just for fun, but it must have a purpose, such as learning and acquiring something. You might think that it's too liberal, or that the children will not follow important rules in society. But I keep it clear to the children to follow basic rules, such as rules for maintaining a group and not to cause trouble for others, and to make fine adjustments with their surroundings. My 17-year-old son, a traveling high school student, wanted to go to Dubai, Taiwan, and Okinawa for training during this spring vacation. So he made a serious presentation to show my husband in order to get the money for the trip. My husband, who is a business owner, has worked very hard to get to where he is today. If the presentation is not satisfactory, my son's wish will not be granted. That's why my son takes this opportunity so seriously. Through many ways, my husband supports me as I search for ways to meet the needs of each and every child. Perhaps it is because I deal with my children in this way on a daily basis that they often tell me, "Mom, you have an unusual amount of trust in us." And no matter what the outcome may be, I will not hesitate to say that I will continue to have absolute trust in my children's decisions. Another thing I tell my children is that I, as a parent and an adult, I am not perfect, and they must surpass me. If parents are too protective of their children, the children will never be more than their parents. But having said that, I won't let them surpass me so easily. I was not a good student as a child, but now, as an adult, I have picked up studying again, and I am just fascinated as my children in what I learn. In the face of acquiring knowledge, my children and I are students. We are all equals. We are also a team that trusts and enhances each other as one individual. Even though I am not very good at English, my son, who speaks English fluently, and my daughter, who has good hearing and beautiful pronunciation, has helped me through this speech. I decided to speak for TEDxOgikubo because I was inspired and motivated by my children's power in making their own choices and paving their way. To conclude, some people may call me an out-of-the-box mom, but what I realized through this speech is that I am an ordinary mom, and it's only my children who are out of the box. And it is only a result of my parenting style that emphasized on not getting in the way of each child's own thoughts and decisions, and providing maximum support as a teammate. I would be happy if this speech could help you add a new option to your relationship with your children. And maybe there would be more space out there for all parents and children to jump out of their boxes too. Thank you very much for your kind attention.